which means that I can only really focus on one thing at a time. I have yet to figure out how to knit 2 different projects concurrently, like literally concurrently. Hello, my name is Michelle, and this is Michelle's Fiber Studio Podcast. Today is Wednesday, November 12th, and this is episode number 69. Well, first of all, I've got a cold, so I actually left work a little bit early today because I've got it's 11 o'clock right now. I have a training that I'm going to be doing online at noon, and so I decided I would just come home and relax. Yesterday was Veterans Day, and I was down for the count, and I'm definitely better than I was, but I was dragging around, and I said, I think I'm just going to go home and call it. So if I sound a little nasally, that is why I've got myself a tea here, so hopefully that'll keep me hydrated, and but I do have the house to myself, and it's quiet, and I think I've got enough energy that I can get this recorded for you. It's partly cloudy, mid 40s I think right now. Oh, 38 actually. We actually got snow yesterday, which totally surprised me. About noon or so, we got, I think, about an inch or so, and then I don't know if we got more overnight or that's how much we got, but I actually had to clean, or my husband cleaned my car off for me this morning when I headed out because there was an accumulation on the windshield. So yeah, winter's coming. I don't know that I'm ready for it, but it is coming. I am wearing, the only knitted thing I'm wearing right now, but this is my Rhythm in the Needles cowl, which I just finished, and I talked extensively about. The pattern is by JessKnits design. I knit it in Haute Knit Jimmy Sock in the Beat It and Roller Rink colorways. It's my brioche cowl. I've got this bright blue, there we go, with black, so I thought it made a nice contrast, nice little pop of color this morning when I was getting dressed. I have, let's see, no finished objects today. I do have several updates to give you, and a new cast on. Yeah, that's what I've got. So let's go ahead and get started. So I think in my project bag, I am gonna start with the first one, which is kind of a half finished object, but I did finish the first of my Spooky Girl socks. So that's where I was last time, and I finished them this weekend. I had an event on Saturday that I went to, and I brought them with me, and so I was able to get pretty much all of it done. I actually had gotten all the way, and I was ready to start the toe, and then I'm like, you know what? I think I want to add stripes, and so I ended up ripping out 10 rows, and just before I left the event, I had gotten it all the way back up, so I just had to do the toe. And I think I did that Monday night. I finished it off. So this one is done. I'm going to set these aside for now because I'm going to be casting on a new pair of socks with my Wicked colorway from Little Wolf Knits. I should probably actually get that wound up so I can get those started because I want to work in them when we go see the movie in a few weeks. So those needles need to stay free. But I am using my Woolen Woman Fibers colorway. This is, I think, the July box, and it is Spooky Girl Summer. So, Woolen Woman Fibers. Oops, can't see there we go. So, Woolen Woman Fibers and Spooky Girl Summer is the colorway. And so it's the multicolored with the blue mini skein that I did. I had intended, I think I talked about this already, I intended to do the heel in the contrast color, but I totally forgot. So instead we got extra stripes at the toe, which I'm kind of enjoying. It's really kind of a fun little touch. I may do that more and more often. So, all right, so that's the quick one. Drop that in my basket because it is gonna live there probably until after Christmas. And I think the next project I'm gonna pull out is my Bahama Advent Wrap, which has gotten the lion's share of my yarny time this week. I am now, well, let me show you. First of all, where's my So that's where I was. You can see my marker, and I have done, look, all of that. Ooh, that looks really nice. I am liking this. So I am now up to, I have now joined color number 13. I'm officially halfway. But I really have been banging this out. Well, I don't know if banging it out is the right adjective. I've been working hard on it. How's that? I think last week I had said I thought it would take me about an hour to do one color. I was wrong. I timed myself. One of the days, I don't remember, Saturday morning maybe, I was working on it and I watched 2 back-to-back podcast episodes that were like 21 minutes each, and so what, a total of 42 minutes or so, and I got a total of 6 rows, 2 rows basically, done. So, and I'm doing, so in each section, I blend, oh, you can't see it super good here, but I blend for 3 colors, so, well, it's total of 6, so 1 each for 3 of each. I do 9 of the current color, and then I blend again for 3 of each. So it's a total of not 15 rows. So if it took me 45 minutes to get 6 rows done, and I'm doing 15, that is an hour and a half, at least 2 hours, 2 hours and 15, probably not quite 2 hours and 15 minutes to do all 15 rows, including the color changes. Actually, probably closer to 2 hours and 15 minutes because it ends up being 21 rows in total, right? When I'm doing, because I add in 3 of the next color. So it's a little confusing when you're trying to figure out how much time, but then once I've switched, I only have 9 plus 6, 15 more colors to do. So anyway, yeah, so it's taking me closer to 2.5 to 3 hours to do 1 color. So every other day or so, I am doing a full color, which is about the target that I was shooting for anyway. So as long as I keep up this pace, I will finish it generally by the end of November. I don't know if I'll quite finish it by the end of November. Today's the 12th. I have 12 colors left. So there's, man, my brain is so fuzzy today. That's why I had to come home. 18 days left. But if I've got 12 colors, that would take 24 days. So I'm probably not going to actually finish it fully, but I should be well into towards the end. And again, with Thanksgiving coming, I'll have a little bit of extra yarny time headed my way. So that's where I'm at. The yarn, again, I didn't mention, is my Advent from Fangirl Fibers I got last Christmas. It was Beauty and the Beast themed. So in addition to working on the shawl or the wrap, I've also been working on keeping up with my socks. And so my socks they're both at the same spot. I'll just hold up one, but look at, I am really liking these too. So I have actually turned the heel. So that actually took a fair amount of time also on, I think, Monday afternoon when I got home from work. I sat and I didn't move. And the socks was the biggest project that I worked on Monday. I was behind by about 3 colors. So I got my socks all cut up and I laid it out against my Spooky Girl socks actually and determined, excuse me, when I had hit color number 11, yes, color number 11, that it was exactly time to switch based on the length of my foot on my Spooky Girl socks. And I had started these socks by looking at, did I put down the name of the pattern? I don't think I did. No, because I don't have a separate link in my list here. Not that you care. But I had looked up a toe-up sock pattern, and then I remembered that my favorite OMG heel pattern also has a toe-up sock pattern. So I pulled up that pattern, and so this is actually my OMG heel, just done in reverse, that I like to do on all of my socks. Fits me really well. I have to say, I have really been enjoying doing these toe-up, and I can see the appeal. And there's a strong chance that I do more toe-up socks in the future. Especially because I already know the OMG heel pattern. It really is not a big stretch to switch to the toe up version. It's slightly different, but it wouldn't take me much to learn it and to figure out and remember, you know, to know what I had to do so I could have that as an option. So that may very well be what I start doing. But yeah, I'm thrilled. I love how the colors are really blending. Of course, I'm fading them in my in my wrap, but I'm doing them end to end or one after the other in the socks. So it's kind of fun. Really enjoying that. Let's see. I think the last project to show you is not knitting. I took out my Stephen West shawl yesterday, and I had it sitting in my lap, and then I didn't do it because that's how sick I was yesterday. So that did not get touched again this week. I guess, and I guess the thing of it is too, is I really have been focusing on that wrap, which means that I can only really focus on one thing at a time. I have yet to figure out how to knit 2 different projects concurrently, like literally concurrently. So if my intention is focused on one project, one like big project, then that's pretty much what gets done. So I'm okay with that. I'm gonna keep that in mind as I move forward. I really want to cast on a new sweater, but I'm holding off because I don't want to start it and then end up having it sit because I'm really focused on these other projects that I want to get done. So it's kind of, you know, give and take because I only have so much yarny time. But what I did do last night, I sat down and I pulled out my spinning wheel and look, I finished another bobbin. This was one that has been sitting since probably mid-July. I know I've got most of the other yarn done. That's that project where I'm doing like a fade. And I have had a half a bobbin, or probably more than that, probably more like 3/4. It took me maybe half an hour last night to sit and just finish it. And it has just been sitting there. It's been being moved back and forth, back and forth. The yarn was getting a little compacted and messy because it was just kind of hanging off of the wheel. I'm like, I just got to get this done. So as I recall, that is ply number 2. I think I have one more ply to do because I'm doing a 3-ply, I think. I haven't even looked in my bag, and I'm not sure exactly when I'm going to start that 3rd ply, but I did want to get that done. So at least it was neater and it was, you know, it's in a good spot to let it sit now. So that is all that I've got for projects. So let's jump into the next section. I just realized that I never showed you my new project. So I am adding this in, so if it feels like a weird cut at the end of my project bag section, that's because I'm adding this in afterwards. So one of the things I did yesterday when I was not feeling well is I wound up my yarn and I have started a little mini Musselburgh. Well, it's not gonna be a mini Musselburgh, it's gonna be a Musselburgh, but I've gotten myself just partway through my increases. I'm actually, as soon as I'm done this, gonna see if I can finish this up so that while I'm on my training, I can work on this and just be going around in circles. But here's the yarn. This is my latest Yarnables yarn. It's Wild Current. So that was my November yarn that I just got last week, and I knew the minute I saw it that it would make a great Musselburgh, and look, I am loving. I'm gonna open it up all the way so you can see how beautiful is that. So that is that project. Okay, now you can jump ahead to the next section. So I have no real project dreams. Well, I'm always dreaming, let's face it. No new yarn acquisitions, so we're gonna jump into day to day, which is gonna be also short and sweet. So this is gonna be a short and sweet podcast, which is why I was pretty sure I could pull it out, even though I'm not feeling 100%. But I do wanna update you, especially on that wrap. So I'm pretty excited with where that's at. So anyway, last week we had conferences all day long. I left my house at 10 minutes of 7. I worked all day. I came home and I literally was in the house for 30 seconds as I ran in, dropped my school bag, grabbed my knitting and my iPad and left, and we went to Bible study, and I did not get back home until 9 o'clock at night. So it was a very, very long day. It was productive. I got a bunch of meetings done that I have been needing to get done. I got like four meetings, so that was great. So it wasn't, even though it was long, sometimes conference days for me can be a little boring. I hate to put it that way, but because I don't attend the conferences unless I'm specifically asked, and I was not asked to attend any student conferences for this go around. So sometimes trying to figure out how I'm going to occupy my time can be a little bit tricky. But these meetings that I needed to schedule and then the paperwork that I did in between, yeah, it was perfect. It kept me busy all the way up until I flew out the door at 6:30. So that was Wednesday, but boy, on Thursday, I was exhausted. I was really dragging and really, really tired. And I made a decision about halfway through my day that I was not going to do my workout. I normally would go and work out at 3 o'clock for an hour, and I'm like, I just don't have the energy, and I need to be kind to myself and go home. So I did. I came home, and at 2:15, I got get out at 2. By 2:15, I was in my PJs. And the thing of it too that was part of also that I knew I needed to do is I had a card class the next night, and I hadn't done any prep work for it. So I knew I needed a solid hour and a half or so to get prepped for that, or 2 hours even. And I knew that if I went and did my workout, then I wouldn't be able to even start the prep until 4:30, and then I just knew I needed my evening. So that was also part of it, which is just bad time management. I guess on my part, I should have done the prep earlier in the week, but regardless, I came home, I got that prep all done, and by like 4:15, which is about when I would have been coming home from the gym, I was done, and I was able to sit, and I just chilled for the whole rest of the night. So that was great, and then I did have the card class on Friday night. Saturday I had that open house, and then Sunday I started coming down. I had a sore throat, but I felt okay. So we went out to church and did some errands and then chilled, but then by Monday I was definitely coming down with this junk. I went to work and I did okay. But I came home Monday, and just by the time I got home from work, I was done for. And then yesterday, it's a good thing I had the day off, because I would have called out sick anyway, and I should have done a workout, but by midday I'm like, nope, can't do it. And I am definitely feeling much better today. Like I said, I got up and I had high hopes, but I got to school and I've just been dragging, and I've got this training here in about an hour, and about 10 o'clock, I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna go home and do the rest of my work day from home. So that's pretty much where we are at. I will have links down below in the show notes for everything that I have talked about. If you've enjoyed this podcast, please do hit the like button and subscribe. You can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Knittin Michelle, KNITTINMICHELLE. You can also send me an email at michellesfiberstudio@gmail.com. With that, I hope you have a fantastic week, and happy knitting.